Captain Ibrahim Traore. Welcome. Captain, let's start from the beginning. You were 34 years old when you took power. What were you thinking in that moment?
I was thinking about my people, not about power. When you see children dying because foreign soldiers are stealing your country's oxygen, you don't think, you act. Burkina Faso was not a country anymore. It was a colony with a flag.
Strong words. But critics say, you are just another military dictator. How do you respond?
A dictator protects himself. I protect my people. Show me one dictator who kicks out a French military base. Show me one dictator who gives the mines back to his own people.
You expelled the French ambassador. You shut down French military bases. You ended decades of agreements. Weren't you afraid of the consequences?
Africa has been afraid for 400 years. And what did fear give us? Poverty, dependency, humiliation. I chose dignity over diplomacy.
Youth France froze aid. The CFA franc is still tied to Paris. Sanctions are threatening. How does Burkina Faso survive?
We have gold under our feet. We have food in our soil. We have people with fire in their hearts. What we didn't have was the courage to use what God gave us. Now we have that too.
You nationalized gold mining operations. Western companies called it theft. What do you call it?
I call it returning stolen property. For 60 years, French and Canadian companies took our gold, built towers in Paris, built offices in Toronto. And what did Burkina Faso get? Dust. Now the gold stays home. The refineries will be built here. The jobs will be here. The wealth stays here.
Can you actually build those institutions without Western technical expertise?
They told us we couldn't fly planes without them. We fly planes. They told us we couldn't run elections without them. We ran elections. It makes the theft feel justified.
You've moved closer to Russia. Wagner Group, now called Africa Corps, is operating in your country. Are you trading one master for another?
Russia does not have 400 years of colonizing Africa. Russia does not control our currency. Russia does not have military bases in 14 of our neighboring countries. Is Russia perfect? No. But they come to us as partners, not as owners.
And if Russia starts demanding things in return?
Then we will have that conversation, like equals. Africa is not afraid of conversations anymore. We are afraid of silence. The silence that comes when we accept everything without question.
There are reports of food shortages, displacement, civilian casualties in conflict zones. How do you justify the human cost?
Every revolution has a cost. Every freedom has a price. But let me ask you, what was the cost of doing nothing? Children were being kidnapped by terrorists, funded by outside powers. Villages were being burned, and the French soldiers sat in their bases and watched. At least now we are fighting. At least now the enemy knows. Burkina Faso fights back.
Are you afraid of dying?
I am afraid of living as a coward. Every morning I wake up, I know it could be my last. I accepted that the day I took this responsibility. But my children will not grow up in a country that begs for its own resources. That is worth everything.
You, Mali's Goita, Niger's Tiani, you formed the Alliance of Sahel States. Is this the beginning of a new Africa?
It is the return of Africa. Nkrumah dreamed of this. Sankara died for this. Lumumba was murdered for this. We are not inventing anything new. We are finishing what our fathers started.
Thomas Sankara, your predecessor, was assassinated, allegedly with French involvement. Does that scare you?
Sankara's body died. His ideas did not. And today millions of Africans are carrying those ideas. You cannot assassinate an idea whose time has come.
Captain Ibrahim Traore, 37 years old, leader of Burkina Faso, called a dictator by the West, called a liberator by millions across Africa. Whatever history decides to call him, one thing is certain: he is not asking for permission.